The title of my research project is A Complex Model for Generating Sustainable Land Use Plans. Herefore, we are determining the spatial location allocation of energy sources in the urban planning. The research question is it possible to build up a model that determines the location allocation of sustainable energy sources in the spatial environment based on the environmental influences, and which energy sources have the potential and where should they be located. So what is the occasion of my research? The energy world is changing. The demand for energy is increasing. And actually, if you see the energy consumption, the most part is based on fossil fuels. As you mentioned, the last couple of years, the reserves decrease and the prices increases. Therefore, Europe has set up a target, and that was the 2020 reduction in 2020 compared to 1990. This will mean 20% less greenhouse gas, 20 more sustainable energy sources, and 20% energy saving. As we see to this, you can see that we have in 2009 a percent of 4.1, but this is already decreases in 2010 to 3.7. So actually in 2020 we want to achieve this, the 20%, and this research will focus on 20% more sustainable energy sources. You can think about windmills, PV panels or bio installations. But if you implement these in the environment, this will have a high influence on the spatial environment. And each source has their own features and geographic implementations in the spatial environment. On this moment, there's a lack of insights to control the location of these measures. So, actually, what is the problem of this research? There's not an integral approach for the implementation of sustainable energy sources in the environment, focused on allocation of locations. My research, the methodology I used is agent-based modeling. By agent-based modeling, you model agents actually. And therefore you have active objects and they are moving around in the environment and they are controlled by rules. For my object I used the case study SRE area, that's in front of nearby Eindhoven. The active objects are the sustainable energy sources who get commandos, and the rules actually are spatial commandos to locate on a suitable location. Herefore I used the program NetLogo. This program is actually able to model an environment by agents. And in NetLogo you use with turtles, and in this case turtles are the objects, dus the energy sources, patches, that is the background, the environment, and that is the case to the SRE area, and the procedure. And the procedure is how the turtles are moving in the environmental. This is the area, you can see the patches, and in this area the different objects, the energy sources, will move around in the environment and search for an optimal location. To go back to the target we have is the 20%. So if we want to have these 20%, we have to implement the amount of windmills, PV panels, and also bioenergy installations. So for this research we have set up different scenarios and look what this influences the environment. The procedure is actually each energy source stands in the environment and he's going to search for a suitable location. And every time he's searching and calculates his score. And then he's searching and go back to, this is an optimal location, no, I go back to the other one. And at the end, as you can see in this diagram, it stops because they will not swap anymore. So at the end you have an optimal sustainable land use plan. So back to my main question was, is it possible to build a model that determines the allocation of sustainable energy sources in a spatial environment based on the environmental influence, and which energy source have potential and where should they be located? So look to the first one. It is indeed possible to build a model that determines the location of suitable energy sources in the spatial environment. You have a well-functioning net logo model. This model can be used as a communication and decision tool. It can help to build up and visualize the environment and shows what to do with the energy source in the environment. This makes it for decision makers possible to define variables by their own insights and preferences. So at the end you have a final map visualize the location allocation of the different energy sources. To the second question, looking to windmills, they prefer to locate on industrial area. The main parts locate on agriculture, and this has a high spatial influence. So it influences the environment a lot. Windmills generate a high amount of energy, and it's besides that also an interesting investment. Now PV panels prefer to stand locate on an available roof space. The main part is suitable and has a low influence on the environment, but actually you need a high amount of PV panels to get the target of 20%. And besides that, on this moment it's still a high investment. Bioenergy installations prefer to locate on industrial and agriculture area, and the main part also located on a suitable location and has a low spatial influence. It's besides that an interesting investment, but it has a high dependency of available biomass, what's on that moment. This was my short presentation. For more information you have to read my research report. Thank you.